Millions of Americans keep a firearm in their vehicle for self-defense, and until 3 weeks ago, every single one was navigating a legal minefield that differed wildly from state to state, county to county, and traffic stop to traffic stop. That minefield just got cleared. Supreme Court issued a 9-0 unanimous ruling that fundamentally restructures the legal framework for every gun owner who transports, stores, or keeps a firearm in a vehicle anywhere in the United States. By the end of this video, you will know all the implications with examples. So let's get into it. All 9 justices agreed. And what they agreed on affects you, whether you keep a loaded Glock in your center console in Texas, an unloaded shotgun locked in your trunk in New Jersey, or a rifle behind the seat of your pickup in Montana. If you have ever wondered whether you are legal, whether a traffic stop could turn into an arrest, or whether crossing a state line with your firearm makes you a criminal, this ruling answers those questions. Some of the answers will shock you, some will free you, and some will show you that even under a unanimous pro-gun decision, there are new lines you absolutely cannot cross. Ryan Hargrove, Ohio resident with valid carry permit, drove from Columbus to Philadelphia. He had a legally owned loaded handgun in his center console, legal in Ohio. He was pulled over in Pennsylvania for a cracked windshield. Officer saw the firearm, noted Pennsylvania does not honor Ohio permits. Hargrove was arrested, convicted of carrying without a license, sentenced to 18 months probation, and lost his right to own firearms for 5 years. His case reached the Supreme Court and produced a unanimous reversal that rewrote how vehicle carry works across state lines and within states simultaneously. Subscribe right now because the details inside this ruling contain traps that will send otherwise law-abiding gun owners to prison if they misread what the court actually said versus what people online are claiming it said. Let me break down exactly what the court held, what it means for in-state carry, what it means for interstate travel, the one trap that catches nearly everyone, and your complete action plan. Number 1. What the court held for in-state vehicle carry. The home extension doctrine. Justice Elena Kagan, writing for all 9, held that a vehicle is a mobile extension of the home for Second Amendment purposes when the owner is present in or immediately adjacent to it. Heller established the home as the core of Second Amendment protection. Kagan extended that protection to the vehicle as a matter of constitutional principle. She wrote, "The automobile is for most Americans the second most intimate space they occupy after the home. The Second Amendment's protection of the home would be incomplete if it evaporated the moment the law-abiding citizen stepped into their car. We hold that the right to keep and bear arms within one's vehicle is constitutionally protected to the same degree as the right to keep arms in one's home. What this means for loaded firearms, states cannot categorically prohibit loaded firearms in vehicles when the owner or lawful operator is present. The firearm can be loaded, the firearm can be accessible, does not need to be locked in a case or stored in the trunk. These requirements, common in California, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Hawaii, are unconstitutional as applied to operators present with their vehicle. Storage laws struck down. Requirements that firearms in vehicles be unloaded, locked in hard-sided containers, or separated from ammunition are struck as applied to operators present in the vehicle. Loaded firearm in your center console, glove box, or seat pocket is constitutionally protected when you are operating the vehicle. What remains valid? States can still prohibit vehicle firearms for prohibited persons. States can still require firearms be secured in unattended parked vehicles. States can still enforce regulations about sensitive places accessed by vehicle. Number 2. What the court held for interstate travel. The Hargrove rule on reciprocity. Kagan held that the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms travels with the person across state lines as a constitutional protection, not legislative grace. When a person is legally entitled to possess and carry a firearm in their home state, that entitlement does not disappear when they cross into another state. In plain English, if you have a valid carry permit in your state or live in a constitutional carry state, you can travel across state lines with your firearm in your vehicle without arrest under the destination state's permit requirements. The destination state can still regulate where you carry once you exit the vehicle, can still prosecute illegal use, but cannot arrest you for having a firearm in your vehicle simply because you lack its permit. How this kills the worst interstate traps. Before Hargrove, Driving from Virginia through Maryland to Delaware with a loaded handgun was potentially 3 separate criminal charges: Virginia legal, Maryland illegal, Delaware legal. The Firearm Owners Protection Act of 1986 provided thin protection requiring strict compliance. Hargrove eliminates the in-vehicle portion of that problem entirely. Constitutional right attaches in your vehicle. It travels with you. No state can arrest you for lawfully owned firearm in your vehicle. The critical limitation everyone is getting wrong: Hargrove does not give you the right to exit your vehicle and carry in a state where you cannot legally carry on foot. The protection is vehicle-specific. The moment you step out of your car in New York City with a loaded handgun and no New York permit, you are subject to New York law. Hargrove protects you inside the vehicle. It does not transform your Ohio permit into a New York permit once you step onto the sidewalk. This distinction is everything. Get it wrong, and you go to prison. Number 3. The traps inside Hargrove that will send people to prison. This is the section most people will skip and the most important section in this video. Thousands of gun owners are going to misread Hargrove in the next 6 months and end up arrested based on what they think the ruling says. The parked vehicle problem. Hargrove's protection applies when the vehicle operator or owner is present. The moment you park, walk into a restaurant, and leave a loaded firearm unsecured in your console, you are in legally ambiguous territory. Several states have laws targeting unattended vehicles with unsecured firearms. Hargrove does not clearly protect an unattended parked vehicle to the same degree it protects an occupied one. The court explicitly declined to rule on unattended vehicles. In states with unattended vehicle firearm laws, leaving your loaded gun in an unlocked console while you eat lunch may still be a violation. The exit problem at sensitive places: you drive to the courthouse to pay a traffic ticket. Loaded handgun in your console, protected by Hargrove while you are in your vehicle. You park, exit, walk into the courthouse. Federal law prohibits firearms in courthouses. Hargrove's vehicle protection ends the moment your feet hit the pavement at a sensitive location. Many gun owners will confuse "I can have this in my car everywhere" with "I can take this anywhere." Those are not the same thing, and the difference is a federal charge: the long-term parking gap. If you park at an airport for 2 weeks, leave a loaded firearm in the console, and fly to California, what law applies to that firearm while you are gone? Hargrove is silent on long-duration unattended storage. State laws on this point remain in effect. The rental vehicle ambiguity. Does Hargrove's protection apply when you are operating a rented vehicle where you are not the owner? The ruling addresses owners and lawful operators, so most attorneys believe rentals are covered. But this has not been tested. Document that you are the lawful operator of any rented vehicle if you carry in it. Number 4. What police can and cannot do at traffic stops under Hargrove. Cannot search solely based on firearm. Building on Miller versus Pennsylvania decided just days earlier, Hargrove reinforces that lawful firearm presence in a vehicle does not give police probable cause to search. The firearm is constitutionally protected. Its presence is not evidence of crime. If you inform the officer you have a firearm in duty to inform states, the officer can acknowledge that and confirm it is secured, but cannot use it as justification to search the vehicle or extend the stop. Cannot order removal without cause. Officers cannot order you to hand over your legally possessed vehicle firearm without independent reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. Your Hargrove-protected firearm is not subject to automatic confiscation during traffic stops. Cannot arrest for out-of-state firearm. If you are lawfully traveling interstate and are pulled over, the officer cannot arrest you for lacking the destination state's permit. State clearly: you have a firearm. You are traveling from your home state where you are legally entitled to carry, and under Hargrove versus Ohio, you have constitutional protection for the firearm in your vehicle. What officers can still do: ask if you have a firearm. Require visible hands and standard safety protocol. Arrest for independent probable cause of crime unrelated to the firearm. Investigate if the firearm appears stolen, illegally modified, or connected to reported criminal activity. Number 5. Your action plan right now. What you can do starting today. Keep your firearm loaded and accessible in your vehicle when you are operating or present in it. Travel interstate without fear of arrest, solely for having the firearm in your vehicle. Stop worrying about whether Maryland's laws apply to you when driving from Virginia to Delaware. What you must still do: research sensitive places laws in every state you drive through. Know where you cannot carry on foot after exiting your vehicle. Secure your firearm when leaving it unattended. Never take your firearm out of your vehicle in a jurisdiction where you cannot lawfully carry on foot. Know your duty to inform obligations. Hargrove does not change which states require notification at traffic stops. Documents to carry. Printed summary of Hargrove versus Ohio, June 5, 2026. Your home state carry permit or documentation of your state's constitutional carry law. If pulled over, cite the case clearly. Hargrove versus Ohio, June 5, 2026, 9-0. Join legal support organizations. Firearms Policy Coalition, Second Amendment Foundation, and Gun Owners of America are publishing state-by-state compliance guides based on Hargrove. Download them. The law changed, but enforcement takes time to catch up. Be ready to assert rights clearly, calmly, and with legal backup. Bottom line on Hargrove versus Ohio, June 5, 2026, 9-0. Every justice. Vehicle carry is constitutionally protected to the same degree as home carry when you are present in your vehicle. States cannot require locked cases, unloaded firearms, or separated ammunition for an operator present with their vehicle. You can travel interstate with your lawfully owned firearm in your vehicle without being subject to arrest under the destination state's permit requirements. The traps. Parked unattended vehicles remain legally ambiguous. Exiting your vehicle at sensitive places ends Hargrove's protection. Long-term unattended vehicle storage is unaddressed. Rental vehicles are likely protected but untested. Carrying on foot in a state where you lack permit rights is completely outside Hargrove's protection. Traffic stops. Police cannot search based on firearm presence alone, cannot arrest for out-of-state firearm, cannot confiscate firearm without cause, can ask, can require visible hands, can investigate unrelated criminal activity. Your action plan. Load your vehicle, carry firearm, travel freely, research sensitive places in destination states, secure firearm when leaving vehicle unattended, never exit with firearm in jurisdiction where you lack carry rights, carry case documentation, join legal support organizations, subscribe because Hargrove is going to generate enforcement challenges, state legislative resistance, and new court battles every week for the next 2 years, and every gun owner who keeps a firearm in their vehicle needs accurate, up-to-date information to stay legal and stay protected. Hargrove versus Ohio. 9 justices, 1 message. Your constitutional rights live in your car with you.